Let me introduce you to one of the three enemies of your money from a spiritual angle. And I like to call this one the spirit of lack. It makes you believe that poverty is holiness or that you always have to have just enough. But let's clear this up. Lack is not biblical. God never called his people to stay in survival mode. Proverbs 30, where Egor says that give me neither poverty or riches, it's not a command to stay poor. That's a hard check, and it's about being anchored in God, not in wealth or struggle. The concern here is about the heart, not the level of provision. And a lot of people confuse the spirit of lack with humility, and that's not the way. I hear people say things like God will provide, and yes, indeed, He will provide. But instead of taking that as a reason to build, they take it as a ticket to do nothing. They don't ask questions. They don't learn how money work. They don't invest because they've been taught that wanting more is actually being greedy. And that mindset gets passed down from one generation to the other. The same thinking, thinking small, playing it safe, because God will provide. And they call that wisdom when it is not. That is a spirit of lack. But allow me to say this: wanting to have more doesn't make you a bad person. Living in a struggle doesn't make you a humble and holy person either. Therefore, I believe that you're overdue for a mindset shift. So the moment that you start seeing lack for what is actually a lie, that's when lack will lose its power over you. So, I know that this shows up a lot in churches. People stay stuck because they were taught to feel guilty for wanting more. But let me tell you, if you had this conversation, maybe with someone at the church or maybe even to yourself, I encourage you to send this video to someone. Let this be the wake up moment, or drop a comment here that says no more lack. Don't keep this to yourself. Somebody close to you needs to hear this.